welcome all of you guys back to another next part of our show. And like I've said before, right now we're gonna do the exercise about filling in the blanks. Okay, so there's a text in front of you right now. Tonight's lesson. So what we're gonna do, like I've said, fill in the blanks, but with the correct form of the word given in the clue, okay, right next to each blank. So as the time as we read it, we will also do it, okay? So let's do it right now. British newspapers. Let me check a little bit if the answers. Okay, right now. British newspapers. The earliest British newspaper was published in 1621 and had the title Courant, or Weekly News from Italy, Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Burma, France, and Low Countries. Note the old spelling, and I didn't note it because I did not know how to spell. Sorry about that. It was a single sheet of paper and was sold week. They gave us the word week. So it was sold. Sold is the verb. Weekly, okay? We need an adverb right now. Sold weekly, okay? Number one, weekly. Other newspapers soon sprang up, but they were strictly controlled by the governed. They gave us the word govern, and we need to find the noun, and the noun of this is government, okay? Controlled by the government. And journalists, the journalists were not free to write what they liked until the 18th century. In 1702, the first daily newspaper was launched. For the next 150 years, successive governments imposed heavy taxes on the newspapers, which made them too cost. They gave us the word cost, and right now we need an probably we need a adverb or an adjective right now, and it cannot be an adverb because there's no adverb for the word cost. There's only be costly, but it is an adjective, okay, which made them too costly, okay, for ordinary people to buy. Prices only began to fall in the 1860s when more people were able to read and were curious to find out what was happening in the world. Many new newspapers were launched around this time, and the era of mass circulation dailies began. Nowadays, there are basically two types of blah blah blah. They gave us the word nation. Two types of. What do you choose? Okay, so the blank, then newspaper. Okay, so noun, and before the noun, there must be an adjective. So the adjective of the word nation it is national. Okay, national. Two types of national newspaper in Britain. Serious quality papers that carry news and analysis. For example, the Daily Telegraph, the Times, and the Guardian. And popular tabloid papers that have some news, but largely devoted to gossip and blah blah blah. They give us the word entertain. So gossip and entertainment. For example, the Sun, the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail. Whereas the global newspaper sales are still rising, circulation figures for the newspapers in Britain are now in decline. This is due to the blah 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 emergence, okay? Due to the emergence in recent years of news websites, many of them run by the newspapers themselves. these websites are immensely popular, which is hardly surprising given the fact that they are easily, that the adjective, what the adjective of access, let me read it. It is easily accessible from computers and mobile phones, and constantly updated with breaking news. However, newspapers have survived the advent of radio and television, and most experts agree that despite the what? Despite the competition, yes, despite the competition, because right there it is the noun. We need a noun after the word the. So, despite the competition they now face from the internet, newspapers will never die out, as they are so cheap, convenient, and easy to carry around. So there has been the reading about newspapers, British newspapers, and though there's one thing right now that people have internet at all places, they can read it online right now, but for some people who are still interested in reading some newspapers, paper newspapers, so that is still normal, because it is like normal use for every people, when anyone needs to get updated, just get newspapers on their hand, read it, turn to pages, easily to know what's happening around them. Or some people who don't interested in reading newspapers all holding on their hands, they can check it through the internet. Yeah, it's everywhere. Everywhere right now. Some paragraphs, some stories they have posted every place. So right now at this generation, we can get the news at anywhere we want, anytime we want to, at any situation, at any form of information you want. So easy to be delivered and easily to be getting updated. So I think we should go and take a break right now, because I have saying something a lot, and I almost having sore throat right now. We'll be right back with the next part of the show, and we'll do more of the exercises. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.